And it seems like the comments aren't working again. Nope. That's what I was checking just now. What's up, bro? And it's a fucked up morning for me. Yeah, I went to try to go to the gym this morning. Yo, my car fucked up, son. Fucking hate car issues. Oh my god. Now I gotta wait till like fucking 8, 9 o'clock to call a goddamn mechanic. Alright, we could do some YouTube University and try to fix it ourselves. That's always an option. So I tried to go to the gym. Yo, my fucking ignition, that shit won't even turn, yo. Like it won't turn at all. Like the ignition itself, I knew that shit was gonna go bad. It did it like a few times in the past where I don't know, it just got stuck for a minute. Like I run into a quickie mart or some shit like that, or come back out, try to turn my fucking key. That shit won't turn, yo. You just wiggle that shit for a minute and then it'll turn and start. It's like, what the fuck was that? And so, like over the past couple months, my girl said she drove it one time, and that shit happened to her one time, and it happened to me twice. And then me and my homie was going somewhere one day, and I don't really like to drive, so I was letting my homie drive, and he hopped in the driver's seat, and that shit happened to him. He was like, yo, the key won't turn. I'm like, just wiggle that shit, man. Turn the steering wheel, wiggle that shit or whatever, and then it'll catch. But, yo, that shit went to do it this morning. Oh, my God. I was out there for like 40 fucking minutes, yo. Like, no lie. I was out there for like 40 minutes. And there is something wrong with the ignition switch. But I don't know. Like, the switch itself seems like it should be an easy fix. I don't want to do it. I mean, it doesn't seem any harder than taking off the case for the steering column and just like finding the screws to pop that thing off, pop a new one in there. Oh my God, these flat Earth. I looked up a couple flat Earth videos. Now it won't stop sending me stuff in my feed.
I save money with Liberty Mutual's customized insurance. Some of it went towards.
This is going to be one interesting video. You guys have probably heard of Soulja Boy, and if you haven't, then I'll give you a quick refresher. He is the Chicago-born rapper who specialized and had a lot of chart-topping pop rap and southern hip-hop hits, such as Crank That, Yaw, and Kiss Me Through the Phone. Personally, Soulja Boy made middle and elementary school, and excuse me for using this language, in 2018, lit. When my 11-year-old brain heard the "You" at dances and events, I knew it was about to get hype. Needless to say, Soulja Boy has not been in the spotlight for quite some time, until recently, and that's specifically because of these boys right here. Soulja Boy's own game consoles. It's been getting a lot of flack lately. Now, it's not odd at all for a rapper or any kind of music artist to start their own business venture. We've seen it before with Jay-Z and Rockaware, with Dr. Dre and Beats Audio, and also with 50 Cent and Vitamin Water. It's not foreign at all. And I actually kind of applaud Soulja Boy for taking the initiative and trying to make something out of his own brand. The issue is he kind of chose a market that's not cut out for beginners. Clothing, energy drinks, even audio devices, they're all very saturated markets where if you have the proper funding, the proper backing, and the proper brand, like Jay-Z, 50 Cent, and Dre had before.
So, I don't know why. Every once in a while, I'll listen to the Breakfast Club interviews. Sometimes they have interesting people on there. Sometimes they just have whoever's kind of popular. And I don't know, some of the conversations aren't intelligent enough for me. Like, I'm not learning anything from it, you know? But when they have really good guests on there, I don't mind listening to the Breakfast Show and Charlemagne and DJ Envy and those guys. And so, I don't know why I clicked on it, but the other, I guess a few days ago or whatever, they had Soulja Boy on on the Breakfast Club, and that's what I'm thinking too. Like, Soulja Boy, wasn't you supposed to fight Chris Brown for like $7 million, and then that never really happened? It's like, what new hype are you trying to promote now? And so I just kind of listened to a part of the interview. And he said it. He was like, yo, I got a game console. I was like, what? I'm like, Soulja Boy got a game console.
They even got into the business, then you can do pretty well if you play your cards right. You can have success without investing too many resources, specifically because there are so many competitors, so many options to choose from. The console market, though, doesn't really work that way. We've seen failed console endeavors before. The Ouya or Yuya, however you pronounce it, flopped terribly once it made it to the market, and the Atari VCS has been delayed several different times and may not even make it to shelves. In the console market, you're competing against big dogs like Sony and Nintendo and Microsoft, and now that mobile gaming is making a splash as well, you also have Apple and a lot of Android device manufacturers. The odds are stacked against you. But Soulja Boy, man, he's one smart cookie. He basically said, you know, consoles sell really well. I don't have the resources to make my own console, so I'm going to just take a Chinese knockoff and rebrand it as my own console. That's exactly what he did. The two consoles that I have today, Soulja's game console and the Soulja game handheld, for $150 and about $100 respectively, are all made by a Chinese retro gaming company called Anbernic. I mean, Soulja Boy doesn't even try to hide it. It's very clearly labeled on his website, so this could have been a collaboration or a cooperation type deal. I was planning on ordering these consoles straight from Soulja Boy's website, but I decided to save some cash because, one, it's half price on Anbernic's website or on AliExpress or on Amazon, though I believe the listing has been taken down now. And two, Soulja Boy's website still kind of sketches me out. For instance, Soulja Boy's page does have a ask a question chat, which I try to use, but your questions go directly to Soulja Boy's Facebook page Messenger. I highly doubt my questions about return policies or warranties will be read, let alone looked at, so I decided to skip the headache and just order it straight from the manufacturer themselves. Now that I have the consoles, let's talk about first impressions. First thing that I noticed, these consoles are insanely light. They're probably not much heavier than the combined weight of two modern smartphones. That's not a good sign for electronics, but considering these are essentially retro consoles, I can give some grace. The console comes with two USB controllers that aren't too bad. They're very similar to the original PS2 controllers with 2 extra buttons. The quality is obviously cheaper, and the buttons are stickier, and the joysticks aren't as smooth as the original PS2 ones, but overall, it's not bad, but it's not good either. It comes with an HDMI and AV TV cable for all of you guys who still have older TVs. The box runs on a Linux 3.0 kernel and comes with over 800 pre-installed games ranging from PS1 to NES that fit on the 32 gigabyte TF card that the console comes with. Now, how this is legal, I don't think it is, but enough about that. Let's just go into the gaming experience on these guys.
Yo, they about to play the Soulja Boy console, yo. I gotta see this.
Let's do this. So when you turn on the console, you're greeted with a pretty ugly UI in all honesty. It's simple, it's intuitive, so anybody can use it, but it just doesn't look good. And on that UI, you have all of the different types of games you can play, which is a lot. The console comes with over 800 games, so around 843, I believe, and a lot of them are classics. They have your standard Mario, your Zeldas, they have your Super Metroids, your Contras, they have your NBA Jams, your Punch-Outs, a ton of different types of games. It also comes with PS1 games. Well, in PS1 game, it's pretty basic, but still, it's nice to have. And you can always load up more games onto the 32 gigabyte card that it comes with. Honestly, I had a good time with playing on the console. Me and my little brothers shared a ton of memories playing video games growing up, and this brought a lot of them back. It was an overall great experience, and we didn't even realize that we were playing on such a cheap Chinese copy of the original consoles back in the day. Now, this begs the question, is the Soulja Boy console worth the $150 that Soulja Boy is asking for? Definitely not. Is it worth the $80 to $90 that you can get from the seller originally? I would say so myself. If you think about it, the Super Nintendo Classic goes for like $80. That comes with a few games. The PlayStation Classic goes for like $90 to $100. That comes with like 20 games. You're basically getting both of those combined in this $80 machine. And in that regard, it's pretty good. On top of that, it comes with 2 controllers. And although the controllers are a little bit mushy and sticky, like I've already mentioned, they're totally fine, and after you get used to them, you get over that little learning hump, it's really not that bad. Of course, you can always build this yourself by going the Raspberry Pi option.
Yeah, Soulja Boy got a console, got a game console, a cheap Chinese knockoff. He was on the Breakfast Club. He was like, you read any of your consoles where they say they made in China. It's like, people want to get mad because my stuff made in China. That's why I try to tell people, man, any of your electronics, it don't matter what you got, bro. Made in China. Yeah, this right here is made in China. Come on, you already know. Made in. It's not electronic, but I bet if I could find a little sticker on there, bruh. What else? Let's see. I got this little space heater right here. Made in China. Made in Thailand. Any other electronics? Manufactured in Vietnam. Well, we don't make nothing, bro. That's what Soulja Boy said. It's like everything made in China. Y'all mad because my game console made in China too. I was like, yo, that's some of the realest stuff I ever heard. Yo, shoot. Well, you ain't hardly got no electronics made in America. We don't do that no more. Made in China. Now that shit only got a warning label on it, but that's probably made in China too. Yeah, everything. I hate when these bacon bits. What's up? Yo, my day started off kind of shitty this morning. Yo, my one car. Oh, I got two cars. Neither one of them wouldn't start this morning. Son of a bitches. I gotta get a newer car and trade both of them in and get something nice. I swear, it's ridiculous. I have my girlfriend's car. Her car's she got a decent car. She ain't gotta worry about her car too much. But I got a hoop ride. I got two hoop rides. But my the main car I drive, the key won't turn, yo. There's something wrong with my ignition switch, and I can't get the key to turn. Oh yeah. These my bomb ass socks too, yo. So the ignition won't turn in one vehicle. So I went to go start up the hoop ride. The hoop ride won't start. I said, you son of a bitch. So I was out there. I had to jump the hoop ride off to get that started. And now I need to call a mechanic to see if they can change out my ignition switch or do something about that shit, yo. Yeah, I was just outside with some snow boots on. That's why I ain't even put no other shoes on. But yo, I got bomb ass socks on, yo, with some honeycombs and some bees. I already got a bunch of paint chips. I need to vacuum my floor already. That's why I wear shoes up in here, yo. I be tracking all kind of shit through the house. My studio floor is always dirty. I think I'm gonna just get like two pair of shoes and just keep them up here by the door, and don't even take them downstairs. I don't know which two. My white DCs probably, and those old Pumas. I wear those a lot in here. Yeah, so it's like, hold on, let's check the weather real quick. Yo, it's 1 degrees outside, yo. That's all you get, just one degree. Y'all good with that? You know what I'm saying? Y'all do you know what that feels like? Huh? Huh? Do you know what 1 degrees feels like, son? It feels like the air is burning your face. You ever been so cold that it burns? Hmm? Do you know how to describe that? Yo, the air is burning my face. It hurts. You ever been so cold it hurts to breathe? Huh? Y'all ever experienced that shit before? When it's so cold, like your nose hairs freeze. Huh? You ever had frozen nose hairs at 1 degrees Fahrenheit? That's why I got my my hoop ride been running for like 30 minutes, bro, and the ice still ain't melt off the windshields yet, yo. That shit been out there running for like 30, 40 minutes. And that ice still ain't melt. That's why I went and started, man. Motherfucking cold. It was too cold to start. I had to jump them off, warm them up. But now, I said I gotta call a mechanic to get the ignition switch fixed on the other car. I'm trying to. I got an Equinox, man. If I can find me like a decent ass Tahoe, even I don't need no new cars. I ain't into all that luxury shit, yo. If I find me a fucking nice ass Tahoe for a couple stacks, I'll get rid of the Equinox. No matter of fact, my girl like driving that, and it's not a lot of shit wrong with that Equinox, yo. Like this ignition switch is the weirdest thing that happened so far. It's like I don't know. It's just the key won't turn. It's like pissing me off. So I wouldn't mind having a Tahoe, and the car that's in the back. That's a Monte Carlo. My son be 16 this year, so I'm trying to just save that. And ain't there really nothing wrong with it. It's just old. That's the only thing. You know what I'm saying? It's just old. And like I said, it wouldn't start this morning because I haven't driven it in a while. It just sits back there, and we've had like it's been in single digits for like 4 days now. It's been like, well, no, it was like 12 degrees. Then it was like 10 degrees. Then it was like 9 degrees. And then this right now is like 1 degrees. So it's been so cold, like that shit just fucking killed that damn battery. So 1 degrees is t-shirt weather. Ooh. 1 degrees ain't nothing for y'all, but screw that. And that's why y'all gotta pay people to come live in Canada. Shoot, man, 1 degrees is t-shirt weather. You ever felt -40, -60? No. No, I had a job working in the freezer one time, yo. It was -20 degrees in the freezer. Boy, you was in that shit all day. I quit. No lie, yo, I quit in a week, son. Bro, I grew up in South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in the South, man. And I can endure some cold. You know what I'm saying? Like nowadays, honestly, like I can do like 30 degrees with no problem. Like 30 degrees really don't bother me. 30, 40 degrees, I can have on like a little sweater and a jacket. Good. But you talking about -50, 60 degrees, bruh. Y'all all the way out there on the ice shelf and whatnot, ice road trucking and shit. Motherfucking beer just just snap off. You throw that shit overboard. I'm not trying to do that. Mm-mm. Oh, you never get snow in Vancouver, Canada. Nah, man, screw that. Mm. Mm. Yo, those guys who finally the end of Nintendo and PlayStation. Soldier Boy console shuts down again. Oh my god, that whole Soldier Boy console thing is so funny. So what do you guys think? You think I should try to change out the ignition switch myself or get a mechanic to do it for me? Can't be that hard, man. You know what I'm saying? In Alberta. No, 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 no. That's too far north. The farthest north I've ever been is probably now. I don't know. I think I went to the border of Canada one summer. Whatever part of Canada touches Washington State. I think that's the furthest north I've ever been. Yeah, I'm hungry now, man. Yo, messing with these vehicles messed up my whole morning. Didn't make it to the gym. I mean, I can go to the gym now, but it's too late. I don't know. I like going to the gym first thing when I get up in the morning. That's normally how I start my day. Or if I don't make it within a certain time, it feels like I just lose the motivation for that shit. Honestly. And then I sit out there in the cold trying to fuck these cars, and that wasn't working too well for me. So dang, my whole morning has been displaced. Now I gotta play catch up on some other stuff. I gotta reroute and reprogram and reschedule shit for the day. Not really, but I'm saying all of that just to make a really good excuse for not going to the gym. I'm just gonna sit around and snack. Mm, okay, I missed my workout this morning. Come on, banana. Look, I gotta go outside and turn that car off in a minute. I've just been letting it run and charge it up. So hopefully later on I don't have to boost that motherfucker again. It's only 3 miles from Camden. I'm from Washington State. Yo, Ghost. Yeah, I guess I had the PlayStation controller sitting on the keyboard, and it typed in like a million M's into my text bar. I don't know why we not getting comments on the screen, man. Sony, Sony always be playing around. Yo, literally a million M's. Mm. Y'all been holding backspace forever. Fuck that shit. Mm. I bet I burnt the roof of my mouth on some pizza yesterday. Damn. You know that pizza be hot and ready, man. You be ready to eat that pizza, but that first bite, you gotta be careful with that first bite, man. That cheese, man, thing stick to the roof of my mouth. I wanted to cry a little bit, but the pizza was good, so I just kept eating, knowing that later on I would have to deal with the pain. I'm trying to eat hot pizza. Damn. Okay, everybody outside shoveling snow now. Me, I don't shovel. I drive over that shit. It's too cold to shovel. It's only 1 degrees outside. I know that's not cold for some people, but for me, that's a nightmare. You know? Bro, my car been running for an hour. That shit still ain't melted the snow and ice off the windshield yet. I was trying to let it do it by itself. Seems like I might have to go out there and scrape. I don't want to scrape. Damn. Why I gotta scrape the snow? Let me go to the bathroom real quick. All right. So what are we gonna paint today? Well, today I'm gonna start working on the background. Oh wow. So I started getting some details with that second layer of paint. Gonna go ahead to the background, start filling that in. Now I say after we work our way around the background, and then we'll fill the smoke in last. This piece is gonna be really good. Alright guys, I might actually, I know my car's been running for, before I started the stream, so at least about 50 minutes to an hour now. Probably gonna turn it off. That's the thing, I just hope that motherfucker starts back up if I need to go somewhere. And then when I get back, I gotta call a mechanic. Oh no, we said we were going to look at some videos to see how hard is it to change out an ignition switch. Any of you guys familiar with doing anything like that? Yo, Bacon Bitch, you want to help me change out my ignition switch?
Need the most trusted battery in your noise-canceling headphones. Maybe not. Maybe you can trust you won't be next to a loud eater.
Who
So something I've been doing lately, it's a pretty popular thing. Actually, let me increase my size of my...
of drawing the head and the face. Now, the Riley method is something that I recently discovered. Admittedly, I've been using the Loomis method for a very long time, and it's worked fine for me. Up until recently, I've not been so happy with my human figures and my faces, so I've been working really hard to try to improve those. So, if you're unfamiliar with the Loomis method, it's essentially just a circle divided into quarters, and then from that you can roughly gauge out the location of the nose and the mouth and the eye sockets and everything. The reason that I love the Riley method as much as I do is simply because of how much more detail that you can actually get. So we're going to turn this off, and I'm going to go over this with you, and we'll do it step by step. There's a lot of steps, so hang in there with me. Okay? First thing we want to do is the first few steps are much like using the Loomis method, but then we will build from that. Starting by just doing a big circle for the head, and we'll divide that in half, vertically and horizontally, and then we'll slice the sides of the head off, because nobody has a perfect circular head. And then what we'll do is I'll take the points roughly that the sides are cut off, and I will draw lines across and sort of square that a little bit, just to give me some equal sections. So I've got a section here, and we'll take about that same distance and do a section at the bottom. And what that does is gives us divisions of 3. And so we take that main part, we've got a third, and another third. From here, we need to get the chin in place. So we'll figure out about how wide we want the chin to be. And we'll come from these intersections here in the middle on the sides. We'll come down, and we'll start straying off of that side lining and just start placing in the jaw. And if that's, you draw the jaw to whatever shape you want. People vary quite a bit, so it's more preference than anything here. Now this one looks a little bit too round for me, so I'm gonna pull it in and then about like so. And I'll mimic that shape on the other side. Okay, so that gives me the rough, placement of my head, or not my head, but now the next thing I'll do is I'll divide this intersection into thirds. So that way here, here, and here are all equal, or roughly at least. And I'm going to give myself a horizontal line across that top notch. And that gives me the, this line is the brow of the eye, and this will be the bottom of the eye. After we've done that, we're going to figure out about the width of our nose and give ourselves a vertical line from the brow line down to this line here, which is the bottom of the nose. And just a little bit up from the bottom, we'll do a little crescent shape, and that's the bottom of the ball of the nose. And then we can put these little rounded sides coming down to where that intersects with that line. And that gives us the sides of the nostrils, or the wing of the nose, as some people call it. And then if we do a little arch from those 2 points, that'll give us the bottom side of the nose, like where the nostrils would be. Okay. Now from here, we're going to take these points at the side of the ball of the nose, and we're going to make a very slight arch going inward at first and then coming outward to the top of the brow. And we'll do that on both sides. And what this does is it gives us 2 things. It gives us the top plane of the nose, and it gives us this little inside plane of the brow in between the eyes. From there, if we do an arced line from the side of the nostril and come up to where that line intersects with the lower eye line, that gives us the outer plane of the nose. And that's all we'll do with the nose for now. Now we're going to move to this bottom section. We're going to divide that the same way we did the middle section. We're going to divide that into roughly thirds. And what we want to do is take from here, this first third line on the middle section, down to here, the first third line on the bottom section, and we're going to do basically a circle. And this creates kind of that muzzle area around the mouth. And this is essentially the plane inside, or the sphere inside the mouth, like, you know, where the teeth would reside and everything else. It also gives us these little lines that come right off the side of our nose. And then from here, we'll mimic that curve coming up from the jaw line, and just before we hit the cheek, we'll pull it up and bring it in to this intersection point. We'll do that on both sides. And that gives us this bit of tissue that's on, you know, the side of our faces, as well as like kind of the crest of the cheekbones, or part of it at least. Now after we've done that, we'll do a smaller oval down at the bottom that will be the protrusion of the chin, and that's the little part that sticks out, and that will overlap with the inner circle of the mouth area. And then from there, we'll go up to this notch here, the top third, and we'll mark in just a line for where our mouth will be. From here, there's a few lines that we're going to make that help measure out the rest of the cheek and the cheekbone area. And that is coming from this point on each side, and that's that middle intersection, the top of the brow where it intersects with where you cut the sides of the head. Start here, and we're going to pull that down to where this outer circle intersects with the bottom of the nose line. And we're going to do that on both sides. And that gives you sort of the side plane of the face. From here, there's also another plane line that will come from the side of the mouth and go up to the side of the head. Now, this next one is probably the most difficult one to get right, but it's the most important one in my opinion. But anyway, it starts at the corners of the mouth. So we're going to start on this right side. You start here and you go inward towards the wing of the nose, like toward the outside of the nostril, and then you curve right back out towards the top of the brow line. And if you pull that out, that actually gives you the top of the ear here. Now the bottom of the ear should be relatively even with the bottom of the nose. And so that'll give you the shape of the ear. And we can do that on the other side. And you want these curves to be relatively similar. They don't have to be perfect because no one is actually truly symmetrical, but you want them to be pretty close. Okay, and from here, once we've gotten the ears in place, we can see like the sides of the head, which would be right here. Nobody, or very few people I would imagine are perfectly straight lines, so we want to kind of round those off. Okay, and now we're going to take a line from these points here, and that's, if you can't see, that's here and here, and we're going to take that line and we're going to pull it down to where these lines intersect with that lower eye line. So we're going to come from here and swoop down to just like that. And this does a couple of things. This gives us the temples, like the flat sides of our head. It also gives us roughly the outer edge of where the eye placement will be. And the inner edge of the eye placement will be here where the width of the nose intersects with that line. And so with that knowledge, we can then start to create the arch of our eyes. And we can pull that line all the way across and bring it back down to the other side. And then from these inner points, we can pull the inside of the eye where the tear ducts and everything are. And you can create your eyes from that. Now the next line that I do is from the tear duct intersection up to this corner of the brow. So we do an arc like that. And this isn't the actual eyebrow line, but what this does is it gives you information that you can use for the shape of your face. Where, like, let me switch to a different color and I can show you. Right here, just under that arc that we just drew, that is the high point of the brow that generally will catch a little bit of light. It's under the eyebrow itself, but it's a point that protrudes, and you can use that information. Once we've done those, we can do the actual brow line.
Yo, what's up, man?
And if we take this top third section and divide it into quarters, so do half and then break those in half, and then you throw an arc from here up and then back down to the other one, just to help give you a little bit of shape on the face. And then the rest of this isn't necessarily required, but it does help. There's an oblong, like oval shape that you can put in here from the bottom of the eye line to the top of that third line, and that gives you that little protrusion that some people have visible in the front, and it's just dependent on the shape of the skull. We can go in and put in the bottom lip and the top lip.
Oh yeah.
There's also a tiny little oval that happens right here. That's that little dimple in between your lip and your nose where they come together. And I'll shade that in just to make.
Yeah, bro. It's 1 degree outside. And I was telling everybody, man, the ignition switch on my one car fucked up on me. Tried to go to the gym this morning and couldn't get the SUV started just because the key would not turn, yo. I cannot turn the key just to turn the shit on. It's like, what the hell? So I went out and tried to start a hoop ride. Battery dead. Jesus. So I got the little battery pack. I jumped the hoop ride off, got that started, and I just been letting it run for a minute, just trying to charge itself up. So if I do need to hop in it and haul ass somewhere, I can just start it up. That is, if I can get it out the backyard with all that snow. Oh my God. I need me a big ass Tahoe with all-wheel drive on that bitch. Cause my Equinox, that's only front-wheel drive, and the Monte Carlo is only front-wheel drive. I'm gonna wind up getting me another Chevy though, just a big Chevy. I either get the Trailblazer. If I can find me a nice Trailblazer, that might be big enough. But I wouldn't mind having a Tahoe. Yeah, 1 degree, bro. With the wind, when that wind blow, boy, I feel like -5 out there. Like right now, bro, I can't even really explain. Like my nose hairs are frozen just from being out there just a little while, bro. Like you breathing in that cold air, man. Yo, the hair, the moisture in your nose freezes so fast. And now it's just starting to melt since I'm in the house. It feels, it's the weirdest feeling, yo. It's like I just had a little bit of ice in my nose. Damn. When your nose has started to freeze, you're like, what the fuck? Oh shit. I got ice in there. Yeah, that shit is weird, bro. That's why I don't like going outside when it's this damn cold. I got some shit I need to do today. I need to go print some pictures out. I need to find a nice little computer desk so I can connect. I mean, so I can set up my my printer and laptop and everything. How to draw superhero anatomy.
This new weekday win menu is here. 5 days, 5 deals for $15. Get a different deal every weekday till 6 p.m. Like Endless Shrimp Monday, Admiral's Feast Tuesday, 4-Course Feast Wednesday, and more. 5 days, 5 deals, $15. See you before 6.
Let me tell you, 50 degrees is cold for me.
Riley method from the front view. And this week we're going to cover the same method but from a 3/4 view. With this you'll be able to draw the head from basically any angle but still be able to use the Riley method. If you haven't watched the previous Riley method tutorial, I recommend watching it right now to familiarize yourself with it because there are quite a few steps to it. It starts off the same way as the front view, and that's just with a basic circle. But instead of doing the front view how we would cut it off at the sides, to make the sides of the head, we need to cut it off thinking in 3 dimensions. So if I want the head to be facing more this way and slightly downward, I know that I need to cut off a section over here. And think of it like taking a slice off of a tennis ball or something like that. From here we establish the angle of face by drawing a line through the center of this oval. And that will ultimately give us the direction that the eyes are facing. And if we imagine that that line continues an angle of face by drawing a line through the center of this oval. Think of it like in 3 dimensions. So if I want the head to be facing more this way and slightly downward, I know that I need to cut off a section over here. And think of it like taking a slice off of a tennis ball or something like that. From here we establish the angle of face by drawing a line through the center of this oval. And that will ultimately give us the direction that the eyes are facing. Now, if we imagine that that line continues across the front of that sphere, we get a curved line about like so. Yeah. And that gives us the top of the eye line. If we do that same curve, but from the top of the circle up here, that gives us a rough hairline. If we do another one this same distance, but down, that gives us the bottom of the nose line. And we want to try to mimic that curve pretty closely. And then again, one more time for the bottom of the chin. Knowing how to do the Loomis head will help you quite a bit with drawing this 3/4 view at first until we start doing the, all the little guidelines and everything. But basically we're going to take from the side here and pull that down to the bottom of the chin and take the corner of the chin and pull it up to kind of simulate the shape of the jaw. And if you were doing the Loomis head, you would take the other corner of the chin and pull it up roughly about like so, and then you would be building your face. And I'll put that line in, but I'm going to do it really faint because I don't want it to get confused with a lot of the other stuff we're going to be doing. From here we need to establish roughly where the center of the face is. And
I never learned how to really break down a face like that. I just draw. And it's weird because I draw from the center out. So I like to, when I draw, I normally shape the head, well, angle and shape the head more or less with a complete oval. And then try to find the bridge of the nose and the center of the eyes, this point right here. And then I draw outwards from the eyes and down from the nose and the mouth. And then I shape the face around that and find the hairline. But it is like really good techniques to know that, like, normally your ears are from your eyes are about at the top of your eyes is where your ears is at, to roughly about the bottom of your nose, and so sometimes you can use that to position. And then the head is kind of cut into 3 pieces. You got the forehead section, the eye nose section, and then the nose chin section. And then like if you're going from the profile, like the back of the head, where the head meets the neck, that's kind of like at the top of your ear, and it comes like to the top of your eye. So there's like certain structures of the head that's good to know, but like breaking it down like this and using all these different shapes and stuff, I guess it's good for beginner drawers who So I've been watching a lot more of this because this guy Loomis apparently was a drawing instructor way back when, and he had tons and tons of books on the human anatomy and how to draw the head and how to draw the hand, because the hand is really complicated to draw because there's just a lot of parts, a lot of moving parts to the hand, and then the veins and the joints and the tendons you can see underneath the skin and the wrinkles, and like hands are complicated. It don't matter if it's the, you know, the top of the hand or the palm of the hand. So yeah, knowing how to draw the hand is really tough. So, but this guy actually, that's what he did. He made instructional books on how to draw the human anatomy, how to draw faces, how to draw the head, how to draw the hand and feet, and a lot of people are bringing his methods and techniques back for a new generation in this digital age where, once again, you don't actually physically have to have the book. You just have to have access to someone who had access to the book, who's probably read it or looked over it or has been taught the information from the book, and then they give it to you in a digital format. Yo, the way we learn nowadays is crazy. It's crazy how we learn stuff. All right, big homie.
Do that by drawing a vertical line that sort of follows the curvature of the face. It doesn't need an extreme curve, just a slight one depending on the shape of the character's face that you're drawing. Now, just as with last time, we're breaking this entire section up into thirds. And we've got a third here, a third here, and so each of these smaller sections should be roughly equal. If we further break this center section into thirds, drawing a line across the top mark will give us the bottom of the eye line. And the next step would be to establish the width of the nose. And so we go roughly equal distant on each side of that center line and pull it down to the bottom of the nose line. Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky because you have to deal with the nose in 3 dimensions instead of front-on shot like with earlier. And so here,
and that's something else too. Like the nose width is normally the center of your eye. Is damn this camera, but here, where your eyes are at, is normally how wide your nose is. So there's like little things that is kind of like intuitive. If you just look at the human face, I don't know. I guess it seems because I just love drawing people. I'm a people watcher. That's like my pastime in public. It's weird because I do just stare at people. And I know I creep some people out sometimes, and I'm not like some creep pervert. It's just I love the human face, and all faces are unique and different in certain ways, even twins. You know, and I think that's how I for one, I just love to paint people. But I think that's how I get better at painting people, is just by staring at people's features, their techniques, how the ear attaches to the face, how low does the earlobe hang at this angle, how much of the other eye can you see, and you know, I'm always studying people around me. Like I said, especially in public, and it's weird because sometimes people stare back at me and I won't stop staring. That really creeps people out. But if you guys want to see me draw and how I do how I construct a drawing from beginning to end, you can definitely subscribe to my. I dropped the controller. You can definitely subscribe to my Patreon channel. I need to put some new videos on there. I have been playing around with this Loomis technique a little bit to see if that does help me draw faces faster or easier, and it's like, kind of, but not really. it's like I was already doing that, but not in as many steps. So it is a very helpful technique. I'm going to start teaching some art classes too. So I think I will try to understand this technique and make sure that I'm able to use it, and I'll teach it to newer students who are really, beginners in the drawing phase. And I think this is a very constructive way for someone who wants to learn how to draw better to be able to understand how the face is actually constructed, because we look for symmetry a lot, and that's just nature. And so there are like kind of standard ways that the face is set up, and once you can understand that, you'll be able to translate you can translate it better from a three-dimensional world to a two-dimensional flat surface, and try to draw in a way that looks three-dimensional. And so, like I say, I'll keep looking through these tutorials and picking up on things, and seeing if it'll help my students out if I explain things to them this way. Yeah, brand new crib, bro. Well, not a brand new crib, but it's brand new to me. It's brand new to me. When yeah, and I actually got a lot more space now. Uh, I have a lot more space than I did at the old house, but I realized I need even more space. Ain't that some shit? So the next goal is a real studio gallery, and not just an in-home studio. I know that's right. Got to open up your own studio. Exactly. That's my next goal, man. I don't know, I've been renting forever and always thought about buying a home, but just all the headaches and bullshit that comes with owning a property, or semi-owning a property, because if you don't pay your taxes, they're going to come take it from you. So that's always the thing, is like, Uncle Sam. But yeah, so I actually purchased this house. Uh, It is mine. I don't have a mortgage or anything. I bought it outright. And I kind of wish I just would have did it earlier. So, I don't know. If I would have did this a couple years ago, I got a couple homies who already got their houses paid for. And now they're working towards other things. And I was like, shit. I just did this big investment. Now it's going to take like a couple more years for me to save up enough capital so I can make another big investment. But I think this year right here is going to be a benchmark for me, because I'm just involved in so much stuff. There's going to be a lot more exposure for me this year, and last year I made a lot of really good connections in the art field. I started a new job that may be a career, working with kids and troubled youth. And so I'm really, really positive about the future. So I do think shortly I will be able to acquire a studio gallery and have classes and do youth workshops and things like that for the community. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, and so I figured just going ahead and buying it outright, gives me some leverage as a property owner, if I ever do need a loan, you know, I have collateral, you know, because this is mine. It's an older house, but it's a pretty big property. I think my property imprint is a little bit more than 6,000 square feet. The house itself is a little more than 2,400 square feet. 5 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms. Well, 3 bedrooms and 2 artwork studios. So everybody was like, "You got 5 bedrooms?" Technically 5, but we're not gonna use all 5 of them for bedrooms. And so right now I'm on the 3rd floor, and there's 2 rooms up here, and these 2 rooms are my space. And it's nice because like it was the attic, so at the bottom of the stairs is a door. I can just close the door, come up here, and I have my workspace here. And across the hall, which I haven't really straightened up yet. I'll get to it. I'll get to it. But I don't know how well you can see it, but yeah, there's a whole nother room at the front of the house that I'm going to use as storage. You can see it has a bunch of my blank canvases over there. And even right here in the hall, there's a lot of storage space. I have canvases and stuff stacked out there in the hallway as well. But yeah, I got 2 full rooms up here. 3 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms, a pretty big backyard, no front yard. It's like I got a nice size front porch, and then the steps, and then the sidewalk. But the backyard really does make up for it. Like the backyard is pretty big, yeah. It's big enough for I'm gonna put like a little storage shed for yard tools and maybe a push mower. I can put a little storage shed like right here, right in where the car is at, but a storage shed can go like right there. And then I don't know if I want to make that parking or not. I could, because this side of the yard goes driveway to the front, but it was a fence there. I just took the fence down and just drove my car back there, but it's not really it doesn't have asphalt padding to go all the way back there, so I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not. But even in the back part back there, I could put a swimming pool, or I'm thinking about putting a permanent grill, like build a stone cooking area. And the property actually goes further back than that back fence. My property goes all the way to the street back there. So I was thinking about even taking all the red fence down and putting up a newer fence, but having it where you can have access from the back, from that street back there, to come into the back of the yard. But that's some projects for a couple years from now. Like I said, there's still a bunch of stuff I need to get done inside and outside. Next, I don't know, I doubt this summer, maybe this summer, I might have the outside pressure washed and repaint it. But I want to do the kitchen next. Really go in there and just tackle that kitchen. Redo the floors, the countertops. Put some tile for the backsplash on the walls. And maybe not change out the cabinets, but paint them, like just paint them white and change the hardware on them and see how that'll work. I would hate to tear all the damn cabinets and everything out. I just want to try to keep it kind of simple. Man, shit, I'll bring you all the snow you want. I'll send a couple of truckloads of this shit down to you if you want it. Screw that. That should be nice for a little while. But when it stick around for days and days and days, and I don't know if y'all can see, like right outside that there's a little patch of ice out there. You're like, yeah, right behind my car. Yo, I'm looking on the ground. I'm like, yo, there's a patch of ice about this thick, frozen solid. If I shit. If I come to North Carolina, I'm just bringing myself. I'm leaving the snow here. You can't get both of them. I'm not coming with the snow. I'm trying to get rid of this shit. Damn. I ain't know. If I come down there, the snow staying up here. I'm bringing my damn self. Hey, good morning. Hello? Oh, yes. I have a stuck ignition. Wondering if you guys can look at it and see if you can unstick it or replace it if it needs to be. It's a '06 Chevy Equinox. Yeah, it's a '06 Equinox. No, the ignition won't turn at all. I can't even turn it to the on position. Yes. I considered that, but I don't know. Maybe I, it seemed like I had this issue a few times before, even in the warmer months over the last summer, but it never did like this. It would. I tried to engage the ignition and it wouldn't turn. I would just like wiggle the steering wheel a little bit, and then it would engage. And it happened, like I say, a couple times over the past few months. And this morning, I thought it was the same issue. Put the key in, it wouldn't turn. I turned the steering wheel a little bit, still wouldn't turn. And so I tried it for like 40 minutes and couldn't get the ignition just to flip over and turn to the on position. Hmm. Well, I'm just around the corner from you, actually. I'm on Franklin, like the next block down from you. South Franklin, a block away from you. Okay, I really appreciate your time, buddy. I hate to think everybody's racist. I swear. I swear I hate to think everybody's racist, but I was on the phone with him. He said, "Hold on. I have someone on the other line." I know I sound like a black dude. I can't help it. Even though no matter how hard I try to code switch, people can catch it. And he kept me on hold for a good minute, bro. It's like, "I'm the first customer. I have a question." You could have picked up the other line, said, "Hey, this is such and such auto shop. Could you hold for a second?" And then come right back to me. But obviously, he felt whoever was calling him was more important than another customer. Kept me on hold for like 2 minutes. He comes back. He asks me more questions about the problem I'm having. "Oh, is it this? Is it that? Could it be frozen from moisture?" I thought about that. It's cold as hell outside, but at the same time, it's like, how would there be moisture in there? There's enough moisture in the air inside the vehicle for it to freeze the ignition switch, even after I tried to engage it for like 40 minutes. And it's like, no, that's why I'm calling you. And he was like, "Oh, unfortunately, I don't do road service." And dude, I'm like a block. I'm literally, no, literally, I can stand on my front porch and see this shit at the end of it's at the corner. Literally at the corner of my block, I can stand outside and see your shop. "Oh, sorry, I still don't come out." So what the fuck? Yo, I swear, yo. Like, dude, I'm a paying customer who's a block away from you. You don't want to build rapport with somebody who could potentially become a repeat customer. If you look out, if you just come down the fucking block and help me out, don't you think I would come to you again if I need any other service, even brakes, oil change, or a fucking windshield wiper? "Oh, sorry, I don't do roadside service." Bitch, I'm around the corner from you. I'm reading over reviews from the place I just called. Yo, trust me, I'm reading over reviews right now. I'm trying to see bad reviews. Mm. These guys did such a bad job, charged me almost $400 more than what was supposed to be done. Phoebe Brown, a black lady. Everybody else, good reviews, good reviews. This dude right here, Tay Ward, 11 months ago. They was real nasty. I don't know if it's because I'm black, but the guy was a real dick. Okay, that's 2 black people. This dude, Wesley Markin Cave. What? I can't pronounce his last name. He gave a bad review. He doesn't have a profile picture though. This is oh well, no, there's a Nadim Ahmad, but he doesn't look Arab, but his name is Nadim Ahmad. He will fail your inspection for no reason and to make money. Kindly be careful. Jack Matthews gave a bad score. I'm just looking at the people who gave bad scores. They have tons and tons and tons of really good reviews though. Great service, very helpful owner, and the mechanics were very reasonable, great prices. We'll definitely visit again. Smith's Auto has top-notch auto service with the very best customer service around. I had many car repairs needed, and these guys are the best. Finished it in 1 day, decent price, update throughout the day, nothing but decent people and great to their customers. I just like to take 2 minutes to write a quick comment on my personal experience and gratitudes I feel today, thanks to a great friend and local auto shop. But then there's a few people with names like Phoebe and Tay and what's the other dude name? Nadim Ahmad, and they don't have so much good things to say. Okay, some things just come together like that. So that's only the second place I've called. I've called one other place who's not that far. They're actually like 2 blocks down the street, but 1 block up. And they said they're packed up until next week. And so that place right there is on the corner, and I wasn't going to call them because, like I say, they have this corner lot, and sometimes they park vehicles damn near on the sidewalk. So if you're trying to turn, if you go down to the end of my block and try to make a left-hand turn, you can't really see the street because of how they have their van parked. It's like they have a lot of cars, but their parking lot is really teeny, so they try to take up every inch they can. And it's like a couple days they had like this big ass 14-passenger van basically parked on the sidewalk in such a way where you damn near had to pull all the way out into the street to see around the van before you make the turn. So call those guys, and they're, I don't make road calls. Dude, I'm a block away from, bro, I'm a block away from you. Alright, so this isn't too far. This is, I know where this street is at. It's probably like 4 or 5 blocks away. Let's see if they want to take my money. Somebody gonna get this money today. Oh, Tay and Nadim, they don't get no respect. Hey, how's it going this morning? Hey, can you hear me? Yes, I have a ignition that's sticky and it won't turn into the on position. I was wondering if you guys could help me out with that. I can't get the car to turn on. I can't have it towed to you. You don't do road, huh? All right, I appreciate it. Thank you. Everybody's like, bring it to us. It won't fucking turn on, bitch. Like, what is you not understanding about the ignition won't turn on? It's like you gotta have it told to us. You know what? I need to specifically look for somebody that will do roadside. That's bullshit. Huh. What up, princess? Oh no, it'll be alright. Like I say, if worse come to worse, I'll change it myself. Hold up, guys. Oh my Jesus. You know, it's gonna take me a while to find somebody to actually come out and help me. That's why I have two vehicles. You never know. You never know. Hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hey, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a ignition switch in a 2003 GMC Sierra 1500. First step is you're going to remove the lower cowling here on the bottom of the steering column. And once we get that off,
2007 Chevy Equinox having an issue with the key, turning the engine off and the key won't come out of the ignition. It was funny, when we first had this issue, the driver's side speakers stopped working, both of these, and after that the key would come out just fine. These are the speakers that give all the warnings for your lights being on or the keys in the ignition, as well as your turn signals. Once the speaker stopped working, the key came out just fine, and then just recently the speaker started working again and we started having the same issue. When I checked Google, I found that nobody really had a solution for this problem.
You look at your key and it's like, it's all brass and very little silver on it, and your ignition stops turning.
will be back. It's got a couple of pins here and here, here. It hooks in the back here. Okay, so don't be pulling on the back, or it's the back. Okay, so don't pull on the back. Okay, whenever you take it apart, be careful because you got little clips in there. You can break them easily. To remove the column adjuster,
you could 2005 Chevy Equinox. If you're trying to change the cylinder here, what you're going to want to do is disconnect your battery. We'll also go on AutoZone and find out step by step on how to do this. It's pretty simple. It said the SRI, disconnect the SIR on step 2. End up being, I believe, this part right here. You have to disconnect for it to come out. We did disconnect this back here just in case. I'm not too sure if you have to disconnect it or not. It's pretty simple. Pull this out. There's a couple blue keepers in here that you need to get out. They're a little bit difficult, not too bad. But what you have after that, just go step by step. You have to put this in the auxiliary, and if you have a problem with your key coming out, it's not locking in. If it slips out like this one was doing, you're gonna have to get some vice grips, and when you get it in position, pull it out with the vice grips. You have to put it in the auxiliary position to do that. But your little hole is right here. You're gonna need something. What we ended up using was a piece of an antenna to get it out, and get it into the auxiliary position, and then put it, let's see, right in there, and push, and then it'll come out. We had to use the vice grips like I said, and then when we got it out, and you have to be real careful with the changing out the little pins and stuff. What I ended up doing was using a toothpick and coming from the backside and pushing up. It holds it in place, and you can pull it out with the little needle nose, and then I did one at a time and put it in the new one. That would seem like the simplest thing for me. So it is a little bit of a pain. Well, anyways, we fixed that. That was not the problem to start it. I'll show you what the problem was, and you might want to check this first. That did need to be changed, so that's a good thing anyways. I did change the crankshaft position and sensor also. I have another video on that to find it. It's back over here. You have to get underneath and get to the back of the motor, which is actually the right side of the motor. But the fuse was blown. This one right here, which you can find right here under the cover. It's that one right there, the fuel pump. It was blown, and it looks like that was the problem. Any of this stuff, I always disconnect the battery, which is underneath here. You have to take 3 screws out, and those 3 screws, take it out, and then this comes out, and you can get to your battery. And so really just check your fuses first, and it might be a simple fix as we found out. The cylinder did need to be changed. I don't know if it was the camshaft sensor, position sensor that needed to be changed. Also, I made the mistake of trying to jump the starter with a screwdriver. I don't recommend that. That may have blown this fuse, and you know, when we changed the position and sensor, that may have been the problem, and the fuse was blown after that. I really don't know. I don't recommend trying to, on these newer vehicles, jump the starter with the screwdriver. But start first with your fuses, and if you have to change out the cylinder, go on AutoZone. It'll give you a step-by-step, but it's not too hard. It took us a little while to fool with, but you have to disconnect those two wires. Let me go show you again, and then it's just a matter of finding the right tool to get into that hole. So this one is pretty simple. I showed you this one back here. This one you just press in here. There's a let me see, I'll zoom in, and so battery's going dead. You just hit, you have to get down there and really look at it. Might need a little small flashlight or something, but you depress the little clip, little thing that holds it in, and it just slides right out. But I think you got to take this off, because we took this off back here and that didn't allow it to come out, but when we took this off, it allowed this to come out. So good luck with that, and I hope it works for you.
Alright guys and girls, welcome to another episode of Astral Auto Games. Can you dig it? Alright, check it out. 2005 Chevy Equinox, Part 2. Now remember Part 1, the customer called us, car would not start. We saw the computer on the board, a bunch of relays and everything. It was just a mess. So we told the customer she got to get a good battery, get the battery charged or get a new battery. So she got a brand new battery.
On my first video, I was just showing you guys this, where I was trying in the key. This is the original key that we had before with the old ignition. So it had the same exact problem when I was trying it in, okay? You put the key in, and this is not going down all the way on both sides. Both sides need to go down just like this. So what I did is I just contacted the nearest locksmith, gave them a call, and let them know that I needed to have a new key made, and that I have the code, because we cannot make a duplicate key of this one, because we would basically have the same problem. So I wrote down these numbers right here, and these are not the numbers to my car, but I just wrote down, you know, just random numbers just to show you guys. So there's going to be three codes, or not code 3. There's going to be nine of these. These are each called tumblers, so there's going to be 9 of them, and each of them have a number on them. So what I did was I wrote all of them down, and even at the locksmith, I told him to make a key that's gonna match that. He tried 2 of them, and the key still did the same thing, and he was telling me that maybe it was put in wrong, and I told him I'm confused, because though that's the exact same code that I gave him is what's in here. If I was to take him out, the code is gonna line up. So he looked something up, and what he found out is on these Chevy Equinoxes is that you don't use that first code. You're gonna start with the second one, and then so on. So this is, say for instance, this is where you insert the key. The code starts that way. So if you have this problem, just make sure that when you get a brand new key made, they don't use that first code, because it's not gonna fit. It's not gonna work. Now, this is the new key. If you guys want to take a look at this, this is the new key. You see, big difference. This one's all smooth and shaved down, and this one we can see all the teeth. Now I put this back in there, and it does what it's supposed to do. completely down. So that's basically, my problem was basically the key. It wasn't the ignition because...
Shit, I might just need to go get me a new key made. My muse? People in general are my muse. I just like painting beautiful people. Yeah, let me go see if I can just get a key made. And that might solve my whole problem. Yeah, I swear, if I can just get away with getting a key made. That might be the trick, guys. That might be the trick. Van Gogh. I like Van Gogh. You know who that guy is? You don't know who that is I'm standing with? Ah, he's a famous artist. Real famous artist.
Look at you. Now, how did you get involved in all this online stuff? Because that's how I found out about you. I found out about you through Tom Segura.
I mean, I got involved online because I own businesses that market online.
But you're a great online advice guy.
Yeah, oh, no. I mean, 5 of the top online money producers on the planet I trained.
Like, who are the top 5 guys?
Well, Matt Lloyd, Shakir Hussein.
I feel like this is like he's telling me about all-stars in a sport I don't follow.
Pat Popius.
Oh, Pat. Shakir, Pat, I know.
No, Van Gogh was gay. He cut his ear off for his gay lover to prove how much he loved him. It wasn't for a girl, it was for a guy. He did it for a dude. That story got changed over to he tried to impress a girl. You heard that story completely wrong. Van Gogh was a homosexual. Leonardo da Vinci was a homosexual. A lot of the great artists were gay. There's speculation that Salvador Dali was gay. We already know what's the guy who did the Campbell soups? Andy Warhol, he was gay. Am I hetero? Yeah, I got a girlfriend. Are you hetero? Let's pull out this knife. Oh man, it's been a minute since I played around with this knife. Let's see if I can make some brick magic happen. Who's my favorite author? My favorite author of all time is Dr. Amos Wilson. You ever read anything from Dr. Amos Wilson? I doubt it. Most people haven't. Not even people I know. Like, most people I know haven't even read his books. Yo, for Black History Month, a library contacted me. And it's probably like just your old little rinky-dink library, but it's in a very affluent area. It's where it's like in the doctor lawyer side of town. And they were like, "Oh, Mr. Prince, would you like to show some art in February?" And it's like, bitch, why the fuck you ain't asking me to show art in, last April or October or June? Why did you wait to February, Black History Month, to ask me to show my black art? Is you trying to peg me as the token Negro? I feel in some type, but yeah, I'm gonna do it. But I'm just saying, I see what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You're not manipulating me. I understand that if it was any other month, you would give two shits about my art. But since it is Black History Month, and you think that you're being progressive by having a black artist showcase his works. But you guys have no clue what you're in for. No clue. You know why? Because it's a library. And I'm going to show my reader series. I'm going to show my reader series at a library. This is going to be so funny. It's going to be so funny for my reader series to be at a library. All these paintings I've done of books. I've done of all these books, right? And then people at the library who think they read, who think they're scholarly, will look at all my art and say to themselves, I've never heard of that book before. And then they'll look at another painting and continue to say the same thing over and over. I've never heard of that book. I've never heard of that author. I've never seen that title before. Yeah, and you're in a library. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Why haven't you seen any of these books? Why aren't you aware of any of these authors? That's right. Think about it, library. Because most of the books in my reader series, you will not find in your libraries. Why? Oh, man. Oh, man. We can go into why. We can most certainly go into why the literature that I find helpful and conducive to a positive black image is not found readily available in public libraries. This is a problem. I see the problem. I recognize it as a problem. I will address this problem. I will make this problem noticeable to other people. Because if you are at a library more than likely you're there in some literal literary capacity. Yet you have never heard of the authors that I choose to implement in my artwork. Very interesting. Very interesting. So this will be a great learning experience for anybody who visits this library, and hopefully they'll realize that all of their understanding, all of the literature that they have access to is certainly geared towards maintaining a false reality, because they don't have access to all the literature, to all the knowledge, to all the understanding, only parts that make them feel good about themselves. And so I'm not really sure if this library director, coordinator, or whatever is even aware of my reader series or how impactful it may be to be presented at a library, but I am so anxious. You guys have no idea. Have all my paintings of books at a place where books at. You know, this is La Biblioteca. La Biblioteca. Damn, I messed that up the wrong way. Let me stop practicing my Spanish live on TV. La Biblioteca. Library. And that line isn't straight, but we'll use another line to make it look straight. How about that? It ain't got to be straight, it just got to look straight. And that's not gonna work right well. No, it's not. It's gonna have to change that up. Gonna have to change that up. Hey, gonna have to change that up. Hey, gonna have to change that up. If it ain't working for you, change that up. If it ain't working for you. Hey, gonna have to change it up. I'm gonna have to change it up. I should have been a singer, man. I swear, yo. I can make anything sound like a beautiful song. I can make anything sound like a beautiful song. And I can make anything, just simple like that. I can make anything sound like a beautiful song. You see? See what I'm saying? It's a gift. And it's a gift and a curse. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's hard. It's hard being this talented, man. Ooh, 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 ooh. It's hard being talented. Ooh, 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 ooh. It's so hard having talent. Ooh, 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 ooh. It's so hard being talented. Ooh, 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 ooh. It's so hard, it's so hard. Damn. Sound like Michael Jackson in his prime. Brick city, brick city, brick. Now see what I'm doing is working with that darkness first, man. Dark the light, dark the light. Ooh, and I think I really messed this line up. Cause man, I messed all these lines up right here. That line right there just should not be that steep. Gonna have to chop them in some so I can bring this in some. Wow, that was pretty bad. It was a pretty bad line. This line should actually be more like that. Got that knife work going. You gotta try to square up some of these lines I've messed up. Yeah, that line should be more like that.
Yeah. These guys make $3 to $7 million a month.
Jesus, that's a lot of money.
I hope you're paying taxes, boys.
Pay that tax.
You know, I know you. One of them for sure believes in no taxation without representation.
Oh, one of those guys, huh?
Yeah. In fact, almost all of them are that way.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I trained them, but I didn't train. You know, I know about impressions and traffic. I understand all that. But when Google changed their algorithms 10, 12 years ago, they used to want 100 guys that produced 100 million online. Now they want guys that produce 10,000 online.
Ah.
And so that's how they built their platform. And Google is a great tool, but a better tool, in my judgment, for what I do is LinkedIn.
Yeah, LinkedIn is some shit that people from high school always send me. Oh, that bitch, I'm not joining your LinkedIn page.
Huh? Are you on LinkedIn?
No. No, but I get like invitations
Oh, yeah.
to join LinkedIn more than anything I ever get in online.
Okay.
And I don't join.
Well, I mean, LinkedIn is a professional thing.
I know, that's why it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're sending that crap to me.
But you're professional, even though you pretend not to be.
Oh, I pretend?
Yes.
Interesting. Is that your perception?
Yes,
I'm
it is.
pretending not to be.
That's your shtick.
Oh, my shtick is that I pretend to not be
No,
professional?
no. Your shtick is you pretend to be outside the box. When I believe that you're more inside the box than these melonheads listening know or realize.
Well, like, what do you mean by in the box?
I mean, you have some. I know you're a libertarian, if my research is correct.
Pretty much.
Okay, and I realize, but I mean, you believe in some real down-to-earth values that are actually in the box that made America great. Would you disagree?
Yeah, probably. Define those. Like, what do you mean?
You've talked about. We've talked briefly about commitment, focus, honor,
hard work, discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
what made this country great.
Well, that's what makes people great.
Well, okay. Well, people make a country.
Comfort is not what makes people great.
No, and the getting out of your comfort zone is the reason the millennials have such a hard time now.
Yeah, they're all sitting on the couch playing video games.
And they're still living at home when they're 34 years old.
That's true.
I can't believe that.
Yeah.
When I was 18, I couldn't get out of the house quick enough.
But don't you think that that's sort of like what we always expect from the fall of civilizations? I mean, that's what we always were taught about Rome, right? That Rome got to be incredibly gluttonous and then it all collapsed into the weight of its own bullshit.
Rome, yeah, correct.
And that's kind
And
of like...
you don't think that's going to happen to the U.S. or
it's
America?
happening. I think it's happening right now.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
But do you think it can be changed? Can it be turned
Anything
around?
can be changed if we want to do it bad enough we're willing to pay the price to action. It's going to be painful.
Well, I think people just need to understand that there's consequences. There's consequences that you pay to constantly seeking comfort and avoiding discomfort and avoiding hard work. And those consequences are you're never going to feel self-realized, you're never going to feel like you accomplished anything, you're never going to have this feeling of understanding that difficulty and struggle and the ability to push through that is a muscle. And you develop that muscle by doing it. And once you do, you develop a lot of self-satisfaction and you develop peace of mind and you understand that you can overcome obstacles. If you don't have to overcome obstacles, you never know whether or not you can. Like what you were talking about with trigger time. Unless you are faced with actual adversity, you don't understand how you're going to feel and how you're going to react when you overcome that adversity.
One of the things I believe that I'm the best on the planet in doing is I get you to do what you don't want to do to be what you want to be.
What do I need to do? Tell me.
Well, I don't. You know, it's the first time I ever met you.
Oh.
You know, you're an enigma inside a what's that saying?
A riddle.
Yeah.
Wrapped in secret sauce.
Correct. Something like that. Yeah. And but so I mean, hopefully this isn't the last time I'll ever talk to you. But I mean, you're an idol to several million people.
Those people need help. I'm the wrong guy.
Yeah. Well,
keep moving. These are not the droids you're looking for.
Yeah. And what I do, and before they put dirt on me in 50 more years, is I want to minimize people's regrets. Okay, and because we all have regrets, and I told you what my 3 regrets were earlier in your program here. But I mean to minimize regrets, and the millennials will have a different sort of regrets. Right now, for the past 7 or 8 years, we've had free money. Interest rates have been free. It's literally free. 100 years from now, they're going to say, what the fuck were you doing when they were giving away free money? I mean, literally. The people that are listening to this, 20 years from now, their children and grandchildren are going to say, Grandma, Grandpa, what the fuck were you doing other than having your thumb up your ass during the period of free money?
Now, when you say interest rates are free, you talking about business loans?
Correct. I mean, it's never going to get, well, it can only go up from here. And Yellen, the head of the Federal Reserve, has already upped them once, and she says, I guess she's going to up them a couple more times. But historically, interest rates ought to be 8, 10, 12, not 2, 3.
Right.
If you can't make a business proposition work at 2 or 3% interest, so you pay 1 or 2 points over that, which is the vigorish or the interest that they get. You ought to swallow, and I only mean this metaphorically, kids. You ought to swallow a fucking revolver.
Successful investors would never be in the market without knowing how much risk they're taking. The number one mistake that most individual investors make is that they take too much risk. The key to avoiding that problem is knowing how much risk you're taking. In trade stops, I've used my background in mathematics and my PhD to come up with a proprietary algorithm that tells you exactly how much risk you take in the stock market. Try trade stops right now for free. It'll change the way you look at investing forever.
Really?
California.
I don't even know where Eureka, California
It's
is.
about 200 miles north of San Francisco.
Oh.
In the middle of weed country.
The whole state's weed country now.
Well, but I'm going to look at a weed deal.
Can I just tell you that you are impeccably dressed in a very unique and original way.
Thank you.
I mean, you're dressed really well, but I've never seen a guy dressed as well as you with such unusual colors and the tie and the shirt. And
my wife dresses me.
Does she?
Yeah.
She's trying to keep you from getting laid. That's what it is.
Well, Sally, did you hear that?
She's making you just look real flamboyant. People just don't know what to think.
Yeah.
I like the whole thing. The scarf.
Thank you.
You got in the pocket?
Yeah, this is how I dress, though.
Can you pull this right up to you?
Sure.
Sorry, these things are very directional.
This is how I dress.
All the time?
Yeah.
I get it.
Well, I mean, at the house, I boxer shorts and a t-shirt.
That's it?
Yeah, in the house.
And then outside?
Outside, I'm normally dressed like this, or in my uniform, my three-piece suit. Yesterday, I gave a talk in Beverly Hills to some kids, and I was in my three-piece suit.
What did you give a talk about?
One of my mentees is a guy named Jason Capital, who is he doesn't say it this way, but he is the preeminent expert how to get laid. And he's got not quite as many followers as you do, but 1 million or 1.5 million.
Really? And it's just teaching people how to get laid?
No. He doesn't build self-esteem.
Oh.
But I mean, but at the end of the day, all these little weenies want to get laid.
So he teaches them how to not be a little weenie anymore.
Correct.
How to
Correct.
Man up or something.
Yeah, and so he asked me if I'd talk to his. He's got different programs. You know, they sell, upsell.
Right.
His premier group, I talked to yesterday. Says about 60, 70 guys who obviously must pay the most money to him monthly.
Yeah.
But he's got 40,000 people that pay him between $80 and $3,000 a month.
What?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Fucking right, I know.
And he's just teaching them how to be a man?
Crap.
Well, how did he learn how to be a man?
How did I?
How did he?
Oh, his dad beat the fuck out of him, just like my dad beat me.
Oh, well, that's what we need more, right?
And Jason Capital's not his name. He's got a Polish name. He's from Detroit.
Oh.
But that's a big secret, that name. But he's Jason Capital. And he's good looking. He's a really good looking guy.
Well, that helps if you want to get laid.
Yeah, but if you want to teach people how to get laid, that helps.
Yeah, but you can't really teach that, though. Like, you can't teach being a good looking guy.
Yeah, well, no. But I told the kids when I was their age, and I was single and pre-AIDS, I got more ass than a toilet seat at a bus station.
Odd.
Yeah, but I did. And last night, I had dinner with a buddy of mine who, unfortunately, he's got Agent Orange now.
He's got Agent Orange?
Yeah,
He's
he's a war hero, Marine war hero from Vietnam. And he was one of the guys that I used to run around with. And I brought back some of the memories, and his daughter's going, "You mean you were a slut, Dad?"
Whoa.
And
you shouldn't talk like that in front of the young lady.
Yeah, and then I was sorry I brought up the subject.
Yeah, you can't do that in front of certain gals, especially today.
Yeah.
Man horn's not appreciated anymore.
No.
So this guy is, I can't believe people are paying $3,000 a month. What could he possibly be giving him for $3,000 a month?
Well, content of some sort. I've never looked at it, so I can't really tell you.
Content.
Yeah, I mean, content's the name of the game.
Jamie, I need a mug, buddy. Sorry. Content is the name of the game. It's 3,000 seems like he'd have to come to your house and give you back rubs. I mean, that's a lot of fucking money, man.
Yeah.
That's like a mortgage. That's crazy.
Yeah.
$3,000 a month.
Yeah.
Like,
now, the 80 a month I can understand.
well, even that's a lot. Like, what is he giving you?
Well,
I mean, Netflix is $9. You watch documentaries till your ears bleed. You know?
Yeah, I've only turned my Netflix on a couple of times. It's interesting. But yeah, so I was there, gave a talk. It ran over. I talked 2.5 hours, and then I went out to Valencia to see my buddy, the Marine guy, for dinner, and it took 3.5 hours to get to Valencia from Beverly Hills.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous piece of traffic we have out here.
Yeah, yeah.
So a scene of traffic. It's pretty.
Yeah.
It's way worse than it was when I first moved here in '94, and I gotta wonder what it's going to be like 20 years from now. It's going to be insane. It's going to be.
Well, then hopefully they'll have hover cars that dodge each other.
Well, we were talking about that yesterday. We watched some
Elon
clips
Musk.
from Blade Runner.
Yeah.
That movie Blade Runner.
Great flick.
That was supposed to be 2019. Like, that's only supposed to be 2 years from now. Isn't that
Really?
crazy?
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford.
Yeah. Daryl Hannah, Rutger Hauer. Great movie.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite all-time sci-fi movies. But hard to believe that was supposed to be just a couple of years from now. Like, people really overestimated the amount of technology we'd have by then.
Well, I mean, they overestimated that, but in some things they underestimated.
Like the internet. Yeah.
Correct. I mean, when I first said 30 years ago, the two things to get involved in were healthcare and telecommunications, which morphed into the internet. I had no idea what the internet was going to be. People measure returns on their investment and return on the minute, not return on the hour,
Right.
or the month, or return on capital, because things can change, in a few seconds.
Well, how do you feel about that? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but how do you feel about that of a guy that's been an investor for as long as you've been? How do you feel about this new thing where they're using computers and algorithms to buy and trade? Like, literally, at the speed of sound, they're just click, going back and forth depending on the trends. And they're paying money to get a server that's as close as possible to the exchange, so that they're literally like buying and selling in milliseconds.
They're a millionth of a second ahead of everybody else because they're closer to the exchange.
Yeah.
I came up the old way. I don't really. I appreciate the progress, but I don't like it because most people don't understand it. And like I was tweeting this morning, gold's down. Oil broke $48 a barrel or $49 a barrel. And how has your 401k improved? What are your gurus telling you to do now? The market's up, depending on how you want to measure, 25% since Trump got elected on the 8th of November, and hardly anybody's benefited. The guys that have benefited are the guys that drive the indices. He's created $3 trillion, in market cap on just the New York Stock Exchange. But most people haven't benefited because 70 to 90%, depending on how you want to count or calculate, of that money is big money. Rockefeller, Pena, Trump, etc. And so the average guy, the average Joe, didn't benefit. I ask anybody listening, check your 401k or your pension plan. Tell me how much it's up since November 8th. Most people say nothing. So part of that is just what you're alluding to, the algorithms, because it's the fast big money that's making all the big money. Although hedge funds have fallen out of favor the last couple of years because their returns haven't been the same as even the indices.
So you're feeling, how do you feel about the things that Trump is doing right now and the way he's bringing on all these guys that have worked for these major corporations like Exxon. They're doing that whole thing that he announced the other day of creating 45,000 jobs in the Gulf Coast. And like, if you look at it, there was a thing on the New York Times today, I think, that was talking about, maybe it was Time Magazine, was talking about he's created 239,000 jobs since he's been in office, which is, a couple of months?
Yeah.
Not that long. So are you, from a business standpoint, forget about like socially,
Well, let me make a disclaimer first. I know Trump.
Okay.
And I knew him from the late 80s and the early 90s because one of my partners and one of my mentors was Governor Hugh Carey, the former governor of New York. So because of his New York relationship, and also one of my ex-business partners was Mayor Wagner, the former mayor of New York. So I knew Trump then. So, but I haven't talked to him over 20 years. But getting back to your original question, I believe that there's a reason why he's meeting with all the CEOs of all these major industries, because nobody else has ever done it. I believe, and as I endorsed him, I was one of the early endorsers for Trump. And I said that if he's serious, and he'll win. He knows how to win. He doesn't know how to lose. If he's serious, he's going to rock the fucking planet. Not just the U.S., but the world. And the financial models are changing in Europe, not just because of Brexit. The financial models are changing in Russia. The financial models are changing in China, because they've got an alpha male in office that is surrounding himself with alpha males. It's no coincidence that 60% of his staff are ex-military. I mean, the press secretary is a goddamn lieutenant commander of the Navy. Not counting all the 4-star generals that he's got. I don't agree with everything he says. I don't agree with everything he tweets. I wouldn't tweet as much as he does, but I do agree that the country needed change, financial change, and he's going to bring it. Now, whether he gets elected a second term or not, I don't know. But I do believe, and I've said, Joe, that this is November the 8th was the beginning of the greatest transformation of wealth the planet has ever fucking seen since World War II.
How so?
Because, well, I mean, just look, $3 trillion so far in the stock market. I believe it's going to be $100 trillion he's going to add to the market before he leaves office.
Please explain to a dummy like me. How does that work?
Dummy, but
how does that happen?
Okay. Caterpillar, even though they got in some trouble for taxes, they got raided here a couple days ago. You mean
Caterpillar? What is that?
The Caterpillar, they make tractors.
Right. Okay.
Okay. The infrastructure is shot in this country. Okay. The bridges are all 40, 50, 60 years past their prime. Okay. I didn't know a bridge could go past its prime. The roads are 50, 60, 70 years past their prime. The infrastructure for pipelines are past their prime. So he's going to rebuild all this. He's going to spend supposedly $3 trillion, which is not a coincidence because he added $3 trillion to the stock market. But he's going to add infrastructure. So all the stocks like Caterpillar, AT&T, Boeing, etc., have gone up 15, 20, 25, 30% since he got elected. Because the big money, the smart money, knows that those companies are going to get all the contracts. The real no-brainer is aerospace. Not just because he cut the cost of Air Force One down $700 million or whatever he did, but because he's going to bring the United States military back to what it was under Reagan 30 years ago. And being a vet myself, I believe a strong country. I think we get involved in too much shit outside the country. Okay, but I mean a strong country, then nobody's going to screw with us. He's going to bring back jobs. I believe he will build a wall. And my mother and grandmother swam across the Rio Grande River as illegal aliens in 1924-25. My mother, God rest her soul, we were just out at the cemetery a couple days ago, wasn't a naturalized citizen until she was in her early 30s. So but I figured out a way to pay for the wall. And yours is the first show I'm going to say it on.
Okay.
Okay. They arrested Guzman, the great drug trafficker.
Right.
Okay. They also confiscated $39 billion from him.
Did it really? He had $39 billion? Whoa.
Okay. And it's better than have podcasts. I mean.
Yeah. That's
okay.
pretty good.
So why not pay for the wall with his money?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. But do you think that a wall is feasible and it's a good idea to have this big fucking...
I know it's feasible, but I don't. But I'm a guy that I would rather pull the trigger and see if it works than not do anything. The biggest difference between most of the kids that are out there trying to be successful like yourself and some of the other people you've interviewed here is they spreadsheet it to death, they read books, they listen to podcasts, and they never do a fucking thing. Okay? I've had kids come to my seminar that have read 700 books. Personal development.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was 700 books on personal development. Okay? But they've never pulled the trigger.
Paralysis by analysis.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that can definitely happen.
Yeah.
That can definitely happen.
Yeah, and the like the kids yesterday, they'd all read books, and I don't even know what the charm books are. I have no idea. There's actually a program called The Art of Charm, which is the same thing, how to get laid. That's not what they call it, but there's a deal.
It is exactly what it is, right?
Yeah, well, that's I've looked at it, and I've actually been interviewed on the kids' show.
That seems to me like saying something like how to get famous, instead of like just get really good at something and
Correct.
you get famous. Like how to get laid. Well, just be an excellent person and people want to fuck you.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, I proved that for a lot of years.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
You rascal, look at you.
But I mean, pre-AIDS.
Pre-AIDS. Yeah, that's when you slowed down.
Well, no, I got
Take
married.
it down a notch.
I got married. I got married.
Yeah, everybody was scared. People don't know today. Kids aren't scared of AIDS anymore. But back in the 80s, when Magic Johnson got AIDS, I never forget where I was in my car, when he got HIV rather, when they announced it on the radio. I was driving in my car. I was like, oh my God. It was like a scene in a zombie movie where you thought this was the beginning. This was the first one. And then eventually it was going to spread across the entire country and everyone you knew
Like
was
a
going to be
plague.
dead. Yeah, we were really worried.
Yeah.
We were really worried.
Were you single then?
Oh, yeah. I think I was 20.
Were you a stand-up comic then?
Yeah. Yeah, it was 21, I think.
Because I
think
know
just
that
started doing
in my
stand-up.
research, one of the things I saw was when, I don't know if you were a teenager, when you were in a competition and you knocked a guy cold in the first 10 seconds or 2 minutes or 1 minute. It's on the internet, competition you were in. I think you were still a teenager, maybe. I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah.
Taekwondo tournament.
Yeah,
I fought a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. And but I mean, you practice a lot to get good.
Oh yeah, you have to.
This doesn't happen.
Well, you don't. Yeah, you have to actually do it too. It's exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, you can read theory all you want, but until you get theory is one thing and thoughts are another thing, but actions are critical. You have to think about what happened during the actions and be prepared to fail.
Dalai Lama at his 80th birthday, which I was not invited to. Maybe you were.
You weren't invited?
No. The Dalai. He made a little speech, and at the end of the speech, he's got a sentence: meditation is great, prayer is great, a couple other things are great, but the best thing is taking action.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is what I teach, and is to take action. And I've had a lot of success, but I've had a lot of failures. But nobody's interested in my failures. They're only interested in the times I got it across the goal line.
Well, Tom Segura is a huge fan of yours, and that's how I found out about you.
He's
Tom
a good
Segura.
kid.
He thinks you're hilarious. He thinks your ruthless approach to coaching people and advice. It's pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, I mean, when I had lunch with him a few days ago, I think I told you on the phone, I was expecting he and his wife to be keeping me rolling in the aisles. They were straight. They were like preachers.
They dressed in a suit.
Yeah. They were like preachers. Look at him. He looks like Preacher Man.
He does. He looks like he easily could be some sort of a pastor with his beautiful tie. Look how slim he is, too, now. Tom Segura kept the weight off. Amazing.
That's great.
He's lost like 60 pounds or something
Really?
crazy like that. Yeah. Yeah, they had a competition with his friend Bert Kreischer, and they did it over 2 days on the show. Like, they weighed in twice in a row, and Tom won the weigh-in both days.
Yeah.
It was a big deal. It was a big deal for him to... I really think he lost more than 50 pounds, which is pretty impressive.
Well, a few years ago, 10, 12 years ago, I decided at 60 that I was going to become a power lifter. I don't know what possessed me. So I gained 65 pounds. I took human growth hormones. I did the whole 9 yards. And I got up to 280.
Jesus Christ.
And then I was trying to get up to 300, but I couldn't get up to 300 pounds in weighing. I tried like hell. I mean, I ate everything. I'd eat everything on this table. Man, I didn't care. And then I realized I also don't have the right bone structure. And so I decided that there's certain things I can only do so much weight. So I was doing bench presses with my son. At that time, he was 28. And we were doing sets. And I heard this rip in my bicep. But I kept working out. But what I had done is I ripped my long head bicep. And so, but one of the reasons they call me the Bionic Man, because I just had 2 full knee replacements in the last couple months. I've got an artificial hip. I have artificial shoulders. I have a titanium collarbone. And I don't have any long head bicep. And so these are all...
What's a long head bicep?
You have 3 bicep muscles.
Right.
It's the one that makes the hump.
Right. You don't have that one?
One across the top. No, I don't have that one.
So yours just goes flat when you flex?
Well, yeah. But now my muscles go flat anyway because I don't work out like I used to.
But you could have got that repaired. You chose not to.
I know. I got it repaired. Not once, as they say in Texas, not once, not twice, but 3 times. And I fucked him up all 3 times.
How'd you fuck it up? You kept lifting?
Yeah.
You're
lifting
an
too
animal.
early.
Look at you maniac.
Too early.
At 60.
At 60, yeah, powerlifting.
How long is too early? How quick was too early?
2 months.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Well, like in my knees, they told me to wait a year before I had the second knee done.
Yeah.
I waited 10 weeks. They were right and I was wrong.
Yeah, I would imagine they would be right and you would be wrong.
Yeah. So now, when I get up from here, you'll see I get up gingerly.
So, like when they build you an artificial knee, do they chop off the top of your knee and screw it in place?
The top and the bottom,
Yeah.
the femur, and then they put, it's like a joint like this, and then it has these like spikes that go into the bone marrow, and they cement them. But what they didn't tell me is, see, your knee goes like this, moves both ways. Well, my knees only go this way.
Up and down.
So I had to relearn how to put my socks on. Because when you put your socks on, your leg swings over.
You can't swing your leg over.
Correct.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That seems like it would be severe, right?
Yeah, well, it is. Well, I don't think I'll be, when in martial arts you say we're going to roll.
Yeah, you won't be rolling.
I won't be rolling
Now, did you have ligament damage or meniscus damage?
Yeah,
Or
I had 3 surgeries on my right knee for all the above, and I had 1 surgery on my left knee.
Why they decide to replace the entire knee?
Because I had no cartilage left. I was bone on bone from running tens of thousands of miles. I went to a biohack a couple years ago. I didn't even know what that meant, biohacking.
Yeah.
And
All right, guys, let me get out of here and see if I can
I really like this.
figure out some of the issues I'm having with these automobiles. Appreciate everybody chilling with me this morning, and I'll catch you guys later on. Peace. Till next time.